There we go. I do believe we are live. Suddenly I'm aware that I'm a person again. Yes. It's nice to have you here, dear friends. It's always a pleasure being present with you as it relates to our evolving ideas. That is today's stream topic, the thing we're showing up for, the thing we're going to consider. I had a meditation this afternoon, and I sat down with the intention of trying to think about what I'm supposed to talk about today. And my mind likes to unpack what I've been through and what I've seen and experienced and how I think things have been. And as I was thinking about how things have been, I was thinking about how my ideas have evolved. I was thinking about it specifically from the thinking about how this stream went from us basically showing up on RPAN back in the day. The basics, to say it in so many words, right? Just doing this stream, doing this vertical stream. And then that idea evolved, and I started making art. Pippi wants to come inside. I started making art, and then I started showing up for yoga as well. Other doggo wants to come inside as well, but I don't know if he knows how to make it onto that ledge. Probably gonna have to open the door for him. I'm gonna do that. Can we come inside? Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much of that noise is audible to you, but if it is, excuse me. That noise might have been even more audible. Yeah, evolving ideas. Evolving ideas. As it relates to the way that this idea has evolved, I shared that it started just as this, right? The idea in my mind was that if I showed up every day for love, then my life will be a life having been lived showing up for love, right? That was the original idea. And then that idea evolved to offering art, right? That if I'm going to live a life in love, then what does that look like, right? And art turned out to be one of the ways in which I can bring more love into the world. And then Brother Ryan found the streams while we were showing up in that way as well. And he spotted correctly that I might be interested in becoming a yoga teacher. And then that became a part of the idea, right? Became a part of the evolution that is myself. And because of the art that I made, I started having ideas. Since I was someone who enjoyed going to festivals, I started having ideas of how I could use my art in order to make festivals more beautiful for the people that would attend them. And now that is a part of the idea as well, right? And today's stream topic is about that as a concept. This ability for our ideas to continuously evolve. How it never stays the same. How the idea you have right now is but a stepping stone, a building block for the larger idea that you're working on. Right? That there's so much more to what it is you're going to do than your mind has the ability to understand right now and in this moment. There is some evolution that needs to still happen. And the only way for that evolution to happen is for you to have the first idea. You know, Hey, Katrina, do you play any of the guitars behind you? Nope. Those are my dad's. I don't play guitar. I tried at one point, but my little fingies are too sensitive. I cannot abide by callousing the tips of my fingers. Right? I did it until like there was this throbbing pain, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm actually okay. I do play the kalimba, and I do like playing drums, but guitar never picked my fancy. Yes, was never my thing. My dad did want me to. He did try, admittedly. Yeah, instruments, evolving ideas, right? In my world, the guitar never was a part of my idea of self. I never attached any significance other than that's cool in my world. It's one of those things that I feel might be more impressive as we enter the future, but the future we're entering is going to make it impressive because fewer and fewer people will need to be able to play a guitar. And this need thing is relative as well. Like, I've never really felt the need to have a guitar and be able to play it while sitting around a campfire, for example. I acknowledge that that is something you can do, that sitting around the campfire and playing the guitar energy exists. But that idea only evolves from the ability to play the guitar in the first place, right? And in that way, I don't involve myself with that. Is that an organ or a piano behind them? That's just like a box, just like a box for the papers. My baby photos and stuff is in that box. Ask me how I know. Let's see how long it takes me to find a photo of me as a child. I am in the top drawer. I used to be blonde. How about that? I used to be blonde and have straight hair. Semi-straight hair, I guess. And now my hair is brown and they curl. How about that? Bro, you have no idea. Little do you know, bro. There is some stuff coming. An absolute storm. You will be asked to evolve. Yeah, here's another one with me semi blonde and straight haired. uh, 2007. I was 9 years old in this photo. Being 9 years old. How my ideas have evolved. That is what we're talking about today, after all. The further I get away from being 9, the more surreal it is to me that I used to be. Here's my mom and dad around the age they had me. Is there a date on this? Oh, no. But this is my dad graduating, so no jumping on no jumping on the couches. That's my dad basically at my age right now. And there's Mom. Mima. No jumping on the couches. No. I say no. I say no. No doing that. I know. No, you can't. You cannot do that. It is forbidden. It is forbade. You shan't. You shall not. Some of the art that I made. Yeah. This is one of my favorite photos of myself. What a dude. Climbing the trolleys. I was 2 years old when this photo was taken. Super blonde as well. That is weird to me. All right. All right. Now it's time. Now it's time for us to consider our evolving ideas. He's barking at the cats now. He doesn't fathom how they can manage to jump on top of things. It frustrates him endlessly. And he'll let the cats. The cats don't care, bro. It doesn't help, bro. The cats won't come down. Hey, rabbit's here, trying to break the iron bars in that photo. Oh, in part, Kobe, leave the catos alone. Leave that alone too. I can see you're bored. I can see you're bored. I have acknowledgements that you're bored. I get it. I get it, bro. But I'm not gonna be able to entertain you right now. He's trying to get Pippi to entertain him. He's like, come on, let's play. Come on, let's play a little bit. Come on, can we play a little bit? Of course, now that's being played against me legs. No. I think dogs are very intelligent. I just think they're naughty children as well. Very, very childlike energy, especially in their willingness to break rules. And when they know they're breaking the rules. But they'll break them rules. Yeah. Yes. Focus. What is that? What is that focus? Huh? Can I focus? Huh? Am I allowed to focus? Can I have some focus? Can I have some? Ow! Can I have some focus? Can I have some? Ouch! Can I have some focus? Can I have some? Nah, no jumping on the couch. No jumping on the couch. Nobody is immune to his tyranny. Everybody is getting irritated. Everybody is getting. Just the price of baby dogger, I guess. Pippi is so over it. She's like, bruh, bruh, bruh. I got a passenger. There we go. Hey, Luke is here too. Hey, Luke. It's nice having you here today. Today's stream topic is about evolving vision. You want to see what's happening? There is an exchange happening there. Kitty is on the other side of the window. He's biting the tiles. Kitty is feeling spicy because she has a point of power. She's got the high ground. Niet schreeuwen. Niet schreeuwen. Is Groblersdal particularly mountainous? Not like that. Don't be loud. I mean, some parts of it is. Like this part is technically surrounded by mountains. My ears, bro. My ears. I got ears, dude, and you're like hurting them. You're hurting my ears. You're hurting me ears. Stop hurting. That must hurt something. Those hurt hands. Hurt Pippi's feelings. You creatures. Creatures. Come on, creatures. Come on, creature. Ouch. You're hurting me. Oh, you're hurties. How's one supposed to focus? Yes. It's always a treat to be here. It's always a treat to have you. There's always energies to experience here. Yes. Always something. Always something. There's always something going on. Always something. Wow. Always something happening. And a blessing look to Ekaterina. You're being nice to each other. Giving each other kisses. Oh, you're nice. You're so nice. Oh wow, he loves you. He just loves you, puppy. Oh, he loves you so much. He loves you, babies. Oh, puppies. Being a doggo, huh? What a life. Oh, I see you have a So you have a unwelcome guest. I've removed it from you. You're welcome. Pippi knows what this is. Pippi is very aware of the ticks. She really doesn't like them. She wants to eat this one now, probably. There you go. Like, she wants to make sure that I dispose of them correctly. So she usually waits for me to like put them down so she can eat them or something. Or she'll make extra sure that I crush them. Yeah. Guess there's some balance with being a doggo as well, right? They do go and explore the world and run through the grass, and unfortunately in those grass there are creatures lurking, waiting for their next meal. It sounds more sinister when I say it like that, but that is what's happening. Evolving vision. Do doggos have evolving vision? That how I bring it back? I think they do. I think they're very susceptible to manipulation, right? You can steer the vision they evolve in their minds, right? Some people have trained their dogs to know that when they say go for a walk or when they pick up the leash, the dog knows what's going to happen. Of what's happening suddenly evolves. And we have the capacity to do the same as human beings. In fact, we can see something on a video, we can listen to a song, we can read a piece of poetry, we can see a piece of art, and we can have that same inspiration, that same vision of the future that can bring hope and bring some good. I'm trying to balance the two thoughts in my mind between the vision we have, the ideas we have right now, and how they would differ to the ideas we had 5 years ago. How have our ideas evolved? I feel more than anything these days, the ideas I've been sharing are becoming more and more of a reality. There is a certain acceleration happening with the evolution of ideas, especially with access to the technology we have right now. The evolution is happening faster and faster. And ideas in that way are almost, I don't know if it's the final frontier, but maybe the final barrier to entry. For you to get started with something, you have to have an idea first. And for you to evolve that idea, you have to get started. But in a computer system, you can have the idea, start the idea, and evolve the idea before you even implement it. And that's already happening. That is already happening. We're doing that with material science first. You can have the idea, experiment on the idea, fine tune the idea, and then output the idea into the real world. And then find that there is, in fact, physical evidence for certain things happening, right? Like chemicals, for example, new chemistries. On a philosophical level, can we do a mind map of what we associate the concept of ideas with on a philosophical level? I think we can. I think it might be easier if we have an extra layer that we can reference So I'll return in a second. Doggo's chasing my feet. Mind map of what we associate the concept of ideas with. Yeah, let's do that. That sounds fun. We'll ask one of the better models. Me and some friends are consciously, I clicked the button, are consciously evolving. And we're evolving today around the concept of ideas and the power that they have in our lives. I started today's conversation by considering how this action I'm taking right now has evolved. And not only has it evolved from what it was when I just started, but there is still room for more evolution going forward. And there are still ideas in my mind that have evolved as it relates to what I want to do. But what I want to do hasn't evolved as far as the ideas have. And the more information I expose myself to, the more my ideas evolve as well. So there is this two-pronged part of a mind map in my mind for ideas. One of it relates to the physical, the actual things that I want to do, and the ideas that I have associated with it. And the other relates to my mind and the ideas that are purely conceptual. We were talking a little bit about the power of AI and the way that it's going to facilitate us to iterate and experiment on ideas in a way that we've not been able to before, where instead of in the normal way, it took you actually implementing the idea and then potentially failing and then evolving your idea through the actual having started the idea in the first place. We might be able to completely outsource that entire early stage, that painful period, which is not necessarily a net good, but it might be more profitable. It might lower the barrier to entry for more people. So please help us create a nice mind map of ideas and give us some more to consider, considering what I've shared with you in this moment. There we go. This one is going to take a while. It's technically the more advanced model. The user wants help creating a mind map that includes 2 key prongs. No, I mean, I gave you 2 key prongs. Sure. Feedback, mindfulness, or love is true. Whoa, it knows. It actually uses love is true as a part of its reasoning. The user wants a mind map of evolving ideas with branches for physical implementation and conceptual evolution. I've structured the map into nodes like idea iteration, tools, and AI iteration. Shows how AI could help. There are also key elements like feedback, mindfulness, or even love is true. Since I can't generate images, I'll stick with a text-based structure. Okay. We have pulled from the universal mind, from the collective consciousness that is all human knowledge. I was talking about the philosophy of ideas as a concept, like them existing almost like creatures out in the psyche of the mind. And instead of ideas being something that you come up with, ideas are something that come up to you. And then it's like, look at me, I'm an idea. And then whether or not you actually implement said idea is inconsequential to the idea, because the idea will be born, even if it's not by your hands. That's one philosophical take on ideas. Is that what you wanted to discuss? Maybe. We have talked about that a little bit. There are, however, core concepts as it relates to the evolution of ideas. One of them is belief. Whoa, 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 whoa. The language model also went down the rabbit hole of entities. No way. Belief. Ideas are living entities. What the fuck? What? Whoa. No way. No way. I wasn't talking into it this whole time. Ideas are living entities that expand and morph as we expose them to new information. Excuse me, what? I guess. Yes. Dual natured. Two interrelated branches. Conceptual, where there is pure ideas, philosophy, and digital incubation. And then there's the physical, the tangible projects, the real world experiments. In branch A, there is the conceptual domain, the playground of pure thought, ideation and reflection, mindfulness practices and journaling to capture fleeting insights. This is not exactly what I was looking for either, having a digital co creator. This thing is still not very good at idea generation in and of itself, right? It very much does need your input 100% for it to give you something back. Long-term visioning. MeltMore. Hey, Jovan is here. Hey, Joe. Much loves. Blessed to you, Luke. It was nice having you here. I appreciate what you've shared, but I don't think it's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking more for, again, the reason for us doing what it is we're doing right now, conscious evolution, right? I want an experience that will make me feel like there is conscious evolution happening in me, the reader, and in the potential listener of this information. I believe ideas are something very powerful. I do like the idea that ideas are almost like entities, that they exist almost in the collective mind, and that they show up to a lot of different people all over the world at the same time, with the intention of coming into our world, right? And some ideas are better than others. And I believe that in that way, we should try and continuously evolve our ideas, right? That an evolving idea is one that remains relevant, that remains, with the times, if you will. I want to think about something new. Give me a direction to go into. Sometimes asking it questions like that get some interesting results. It's like, yes, thinking. Computer thinks about it. Considering conscious evolution. You should consider conscious evolution, computer. It's looking for something different, more focused on conscious evolution. It's true. The user wants an experience rooted in conscious evolution. I do. I'm imagining a narrative experience and helping the reader feel conscious evolution happening in real time. You are. We will have to master the art of prompting. Very true. It's very true. I try and just talk to it like a person, right? And I have shared some of what this person is with it as well. So it does look at my requests through a lens. One of my almost like key points was like truth seeking. It's like, I want you to be truthful, bro. Like, give me the real stuff. So now it's giving us something apparently new to think about. No, it's not. I don't feel like it is, at least from like scanning roughly. Prompting. I removed autocorrect because I was wrong too often. You removed autocorrect because I was wrong too often. Maybe just like you actually remove autocorrect so that you can learn how to spell properly, kind of vibes. This again feels like it's too in the little channel, right? It's not veering. It's just like in the slice of information that I gave it. Embrace the living nature of ideas. Again, we said that. Engage in a dialogue of collective mind. Visualize that every time you share your thoughts, whether through conversation, art, or simple written note, you're participating in a grand interwoven tapestry of human experience. We've said that. We've talked about that. More like auto incorrect. That's hilarious. That's happened to me too a few times. Like especially, I'll delete words. I'll like literally hold on. I'm like, stop showing up. Cultivate the practice, reflect, and share. Yeah, all of this is so a little bit basic still to me. I don't know, bro. It doesn't feel very novel. Let's ask this model. I want us to think outside of the box a little bit. All right. I value ideas, and I do not really think I'm going to be swayed by any ideas that you can suggest to me, Mr. Computer. I have shown up in a way where the ideas that I have are very interdependent. Right? One thing has to happen for the next thing to happen for my ideas to evolve. I want you to try. Like, and I want you to try hard. I want you to like think those brain cells of yours, extra. I want the computers to like throw errors. I'm sorry. I'm laying it on thick a little bit, Mr. Computer. I'm sorry. However, I do want you to share with me a new idea that will almost create a whole new branch in my brain that I want to evolve into. Blow my mind. Try. I dare you. Oh, let's try it. Let's try it. Maybe we taunt the machine. It's like, oh yeah, human being. How about this? Throws me some whack information that I've never considered. It would change it if, and super annoying correction. Sorry, I'm late. You were here, Dreamtooth. Bless ya. You're right on time, Mr. Computer. Autocorrect was found its way to say hello to Darn. To Barn. Yes. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. It's trying to blow my mind. Nice. Let's see. The idea is quantum echo gardens. So I haven't started reading yet, but one of my ideas, and I've shared this with you friends before, is to eventually turn what my Patreon now is into a garden. That would be a VR-esque world where you would have access to my flowers, almost like as these standing pieces. And then I had this idea today, thinking about that I would like for there to be some sort of interactivity between you and the flower, where maybe if you're there with a friend and you're talking, it'll respond to the frequencies in your voice, or maybe as you're moving past it, some points of it will almost like attach to you and kind of like shift with you as you're moving away from it, right? And I call it my flower garden. So the fact that the first idea that it throws me is the quantum echo garden feels like it might latch itself onto my brain. Let's see if it's cool. Imagine a living, evolving garden of ideas, yes, that span multiple timelines. Okay, that I didn't think of mine spanning multiple timelines, but yes, why not? That spans multiple timelines, where each seed you plant is a possibility for the future. And you can step mentally and digitally, yeah, into these parallel branches of your life to see how they grow, change, and cross pollinate. Whoa, okay. That wasn't my idea. But that's a cool idea. You heard what they say? You heard? They're like, imagine you could have an idea, right? And then instead, hey, Susan, then instead of like potentially living that idea, you create like a subset of the universe even. I don't know if it's going to be very processor friendly, right? It's probably going to take a lot of energy for us to do that. But then you have that idea and the potential of it and your application of your effort into that world literally spun up, right? You see that thing happen. And then you could determine whether or not that is something of value. In this concept, you're not just dreaming about the future, you're actively cultivating it through a fusion of conscious intent, AI simulation, and a bit of mind-bending quantum logic. Yes, right? Because again, every idea becomes a new sub-branch of your life, right? And as you're having ideas throughout your day, Instead of just kind of like having to park them, you can simulate them. And then by the time you finish your day, right, like maybe you have an idea as you're going to sleep at night, right? And then instead of just like forgetting that idea, you can plant that seed of that idea in a simulator. And then as you're sleeping, that idea becomes simulated, right? And as you wake up, there is a little spreadsheet for you to look at. And it's like, yeah, look at this. Look at the data. Look at the way that that idea can unfold in a positive way potentially for you. Yes, and you can do that quantumly. So you can keep doing it as you go through the day. I hear what Mel says. Yes, I determine always. Determines. Determinings. Determiners. The garden and the seeds. The seed is the intention. Each new project, aspiration, or what if gets planted as a seed in your quantum echo garden. The quantum twist is thinking of each seed as carrying multiple potential outcomes. Every choice you make in the real world or experiment with in the digital environment changes how these seeds develop across timelines. Parallel growth. Yeah, so the second one is echoes across timelines. Parallel growth. Instead of a pass fail scenario, each seed sprouts into multiple paths. Ooh, more interest. One timeline might show what happens if you go all in on your creative career. Another might reveal the outcome of radical collaboration with AI. Another might highlight a partnership with an unlikely ally or a type of technology. Observing these echoes through a specialized digital interface, AR, VR, or even a specialized AI dashboard, you can observe the subtle differences in how your ideas evolve in these parallel beds of the garden. This is cool. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was wanting because this is giving my mind like room to think, room to evolve the idea that is this idea, right? To iterate on top of mind bending tech integration. AI as the gardener's assistant. AI helps simulate and extrapolate possible outcomes, factoring in social trends, personal preferences, and even your emotional states. Neural linking, futuristic optional add on. Yes, indeed. In more avant garde versions of this concept, you might use a mild? Why would it call it mild? There's nothing mild. Just call it a brain computer interface. Why use a mild? You might use a mild. brain computer intentions, helping the seed grow in ways that reflect your core values and conscious evolution. Cross pollination and weeding. Cross pollination. Timelines can share traits. Maybe you pick a brilliant idea from one hypothetical outcome and introduce it to another, creating a new hybrid possibility you couldn't have imagined in a singular linear path. I actually had this as an idea as well for Melting Psychonauts, a show that I want to make one day. And the show is going to definitely rely a little bit on Gen AI, and the way that I want to build that system is that there's going to be almost like a creative director. And then you, as the person that's going to be on the show, needs to have a conversation with this creative director. And this creative director is going to ask you a bunch of questions about your preferences, both on the level of like your inner world, the way you would see your inner world being like built, and then also how you want to have the outer world see you as a character as well, right? And then that's going to be almost like a model that you can flip between, right? The actual host or the person that you're on the show with will have a world and a model of their own, and there will be a flip to switch, a switch to flip between their worlds. You can like still watch the same conversation and how that conversation looks like to their internal world, but you can also switch between their internal worlds while being in the same world at the same time, like two people standing there. But if you can see through their eyes, the world looks one way, and if you can see through their eyes, the world looks another. And then you can technically flip both switches. And then there will be a conversation had between these two models about the non negotiables. What is something the one world cannot go without and something the other world cannot go without? And then building a new world with those two non negotiables being non negotiated. Right? And then there's a whole new world that arises from that. I don't know if it's the same idea with this cross pollinating of ideas, but I do like it. It's pretty cool. Timelines can share traits. Maybe you pick a brilliant idea from one hypothetical outcome and introduce it to another, creating a new hybrid possibility you couldn't have imagined in a single linear path. And then there can be the weeding out of stagnation. Some seeds won't germinate or may become overgrown with negativity or irrelevance. Observing them across multiple paths shows you which ideas need pruning or discarding altogether. And then there can be harvesting insights. Iterative evolution. Once you see the outcomes that resonate most, you start aligning your real world choices towards that direction. Embodied wisdom. By visiting these parallel developments, even if it's just imaginative or through AI simulation, you embody the lessons learned from each scenario. The collapse, this collapses learning curves, letting you adapt far faster than traditional trial and error. Why this could blow your mind? I don't know if my mind has been blown, but my mind has been grown, right? The ideas I've had now feels a little bit more expansive, thinking about it through this nature as well. And again, I think it's going to be a resource limitation because if all of us suddenly start rendering our entire realities, multiple of our entire realities simultaneously, that's going to be a lot of processing power. You're not just a thinker, you're a time gardener. Well, instead of linear idea implementation succeed fail, you're orchestrating multiple parallel timeline growths. We are doing that. We've done that. You merge consciousness and tech. It's an intimate collaboration. AI simulates futures that your intention guides, and your emotional resonance shape which future feels right. Mm. Mindful, not just efficient. The practice isn't merely about productivity, it's a philosophical exploration of who you could become if given multiple test runs on your life's direction. I do like that. That's a big one, right? Because I get stuck not knowing what my life direction is sometimes, right? And if I let myself stay stuck, then I just do nothing. And being able to do test runs in that way is going to be pretty good for our species because just having that, oh, okay, I've tried this before, I've practiced a little bit, it's going to bring some relief. And then there will be epic creative freedom. Want to see how a residency in an Antarctic research lab would go? Cross pollinate with your love for sculpting neon art. Plant the seeds in your garden, let it sprout in 2 or 3 timelines, and see what blossoms. That is cool. The bottom line, you don't have to wait for linear reality to unfold or for repeated real world failures to redefine your future. You can harness a quantum echo garden to actively explore branches of possibilities. Each seed is a living idea, each timeline a distinct environment, and you, the conscious gardener, can shape them all, harvesting insights that push your evolution in bold, unexpected ways. Yeah, that feels pretty good. That feels kind of related to the idea in the Midnight Gospel as well of them harvesting cool stuff from that other world. Nancy, they make me so cozy and sleepy eepy. So much love to that side. Let me open chat quickly. I haven't had chat open once. It's not true. Alrighty. Alrighty, potato. Okay, here's an evolving idea. Have you ever considered that your super advanced system is speaking to you on a personal level? Not only do I consider it, but I intend for it to be so, right? Like there are little tabs here on the sidelines. View details. Archive. Move the projects. I don't know if it's accessible through this window. Yeah. It is. So here, I've told it to remember my chats, and here, you can give it custom instructions. Right. So I sat down and gave it a bunch, big old bunches of custom instructions. Right. I let it know that it ought to be in a certain way. And I feel like this is one of the better outputs we've gotten, I think, because of it. It took us some wood chopping, but this is cool. This is giving my mind some ideas to evolve. Right? Because in that way, I feel like we as human beings are still going to have to be the implementers of all of these new evolving ideas. Be, breathe, and blossom. Mm. Good morning to you. I see Kristen and a Pojo too. So nice having you, friends. Sending you so much love. We've been talking about evolving our ideas. And in this discussion of evolving our ideas, we considered the dual nature of ideas, how one of them can be pure ideation, pure mind, and one of them is the actual implementation of said ideas ultimately. Then we employed the help of AI, as we do these days, to kind of try and give us some new mode to think within. And the idea that was suggested today to us was the idea of thinking about a quantum echo garden, where we plant seeds that are our ideas, that are our intentions, and then we simulate, we render within those gardens, within those little slices of dimension of reality that we create for ourselves, what that idea could look like. Potentially giving our species a test run on an idea, on a life decision, and then feeling. All right. Again, it's going to come down to our feeling. That was a big point for me as well. In that, what idea is right? Because it is going to be up to you to feel into that. If it doesn't feel right, what's the point? My throat feels dry, but it should be high humidity right now. I'm gonna go and get myself some water. Expanding the margins of possibilities. Expanding the margins of possibilities is right. Expanding the margins of what we think is possible for ourselves. I feel we as human beings get very stuck because one idea might have worked enough. And if it worked enough, then it ought not be questioned. Because what if the other idea doesn't work at all? You heard? You heard what I mean? You heard what I said? You know. You've had that experience too, I'm sure. It's not always easy to feel confident. Ignoring the fences that have been imprinted upon our spirits. Yeah, throwing off those shackles. Epic lovins to all, wishing the most evolutionarily, wonderfully spectacular day. Enjoying the perspectives of such things as dualities and quantum entanglement. Quantumly entangling ourselves with reality by having ideas. Oh, how dare you! You're having ideas out here? You know that changes the world, don't you? Oh. Hmm. That was nice. Constantly, consciously evolving towards a new version of faith and possibility. Moving towards the versions of us that really know that this is a process unfolding. I feel even though I do know that we're in this unfolding process, I'm still so impatient, you know, relentlessly so. I'm like, why is not evolving faster? Why is wait for evolvers? Why must wait for so long? How dare we be IDing all over the place? So messy. So messy. Especially when those ideas are not exactly the same. You'll see. Ideas. Ideas. What a powerful force. Capitalism was an idea. The VOC, they had that idea. And goodness, was it a successful one? I don't know if it was a good idea. I guess I guess if success is good, it was. But jeeps, here we find ourselves hundreds of years later. The current idea that's evolving in the minds of the Americas is not falling behind. If we look at our electric vehicle fractal in our world right now, that's a big one for me. Electric vehicles, solar panels, batteries. People didn't really invest. And when I say people, I mean our our institutional monies, right? Around the world, they didn't invest nearly as much as China did into that fractal. And as a result, they have literally dominated the space to the point where it's impossible, literally impossible for the legacy automakers to compete. They cannot. They just can't. It's not like it's impossible, like, oh, they won't be able to do it like now. Like, they will probably never be able to do it. Like, it's that bad, right? Like, falling 20 years behind on something like that doesn't bode well for your business, right? And in that way, the next idea that's now evolving is AI and robotics. And I think America had it like fingers burnt a little bit by the not, being on the bandwagon of the evolving tech that is, renewables. So they're basically like doubling down on burning the rest of their fossil fuels because they know it's going to be like, it's like the last chance. All right, it's going to be like the next 5 years, and then you will literally be losing your business money by burning fossil fuels, right? And then the same forces that drive the burning of fossil fuels right now, the making profit, is going to drive the abandonment of fossil fuels in the future. Because if you're caught burning diesel when you could have been, buying batteries and installing solar or whatever, it's going to be like, doesn't look good for the balance sheet. So yeah, right. I have hope in that way, and alongside that hope of what the future can look like and what the world is almost going to be forced, what idea is going to like get the most consciously evolving minds pushing against it, and that is robotics and AI. We're going to really evolve that idea. Really push that one. And you are a part of it. You are already a part of it. Every single one of us are. It is quite a change. We went from not having computers in our homes to having computers in our brains in like 30 years. And I'm talking about averages, right? And I'm like, technically, I can't say averages for having computers in your brain. What was computer, especially home computer adoption like in the year 1995? There are now 3 individuals on planet Earth that have BCIs, brain computer interfaces. I just had my first 10% quinoa coffee, and it's so amazing. Taste buds and brain cells all craving it now. Be right back. Quinoa coffee does sound pretty nice. A year of shifts and milestones. Windows 95 came out in 1995. Who would have guessed? Possibly the single biggest catalyst of the year, Microsoft's massive marketing push, including the famous Rolling Stone Start Me Up ad campaign, made Windows 95 a cultural event. It introduced everyday folks to features like the Start button, a friendlier user interface, and a built in internet supporter. Adoption rates. Yay. New home PCs were in the range of $1,000 to $2,500. Roughly $5,000 in 2020's money. Spending 100,000 rand. Like that's at Bo Bonkers. That's like how much we can hope to make in a year if we're lucky. If we save every single penny, maybe we get to $5,000. That's so wild for a computer. And now you can buy a usable cell phone for like $40. Not going to be the best, but you'll be able to take photos. You'll be able to surf the web. You'll be able to send WhatsApp messages. Pre-planning. Oh, thank you, Kristen. I saw the message come through. Stop that, please. Oh, please stop it. No, please stop. Stop. They're not giving me like percentage adoption numbers. But yeah, it was very expensive to have a computer just 30 years ago. Thousands of US dollars. Thousands. And now you can buy a cell phone for 40. That is wild. Come on. Like can we take a moment to really consider how wild that is? And again, I believe in the next 30 years, probably a lot less because we're already there. We're going to see the exact same thing happen with AI and robots. It's first going to be clunky robots for $30,000 a pop. And then the next year, there's going to be more sleek models for $27,000, $30,000, and $33,000. And then the next year, there's going to be even more sleeker models for $25,000, $30,000, and $35,000. And then the next year, even sleeker models for $20,000, $30,000, and $40,000. You see what I'm doing here? Because there is going to be this range thing happening where the most expensive ones are going to become more expensive up until a point. I don't think they'll be more than $60,000 realistically speaking. Right? Even for the good ones, whatever you consider good. But the cheap ones, the ones that can do basic tasks, I think will be probably at or less than $5,000 by the year 2030. Right? That's 5 years away, bro. Maybe that's a little bit ambitious, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would legit not be surprised. So it's going to be the exact same thing of like the computers now, right? In hindsight. And then again, another 15 years or another 25 years extra. Now people that can afford today's cell phone can afford a robot as well. Is that Bedell? Whoa, Bedell sent something else? Nice. Cat orange whistling, cat orange whistling, cat orange whistling. Little emojis for us. Play video on the internet, still so clunky. True. Now some cell phones cost more than a lot of computers. Again, that's what I meant with the whole range thing, right? Like the most expensive of expensivest phones are expensiver than they've ever been. But also the cheapest of the cheapest phones are cheaper than they've ever been, right? And it's going to be the same thing with robotics. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's already happening right in front of our eyeballs. You can just watch. The progress we've made as a species, and yet the mistakes we keep making simultaneously. It is quite the experience to learn these lessons the way we do. A $50 smartphone is a phone, computer, digital camera, alarm clock, calculator, GPS tracker, celestial alignment indicator. It's crazy. Yeah, it's true. And they exist, right? Hey, Google. Actually, let's ask a language model instead. We'll give this the capacity to search. How many smartphones that has an internet connection, has a touchscreen, has a camera, has GPS exist for under $50? Right? I think that's going to be the most bonkers part, is that there's going to be like multiple models. There's the track phone, that's $40. There's the Vortex C24, that's $40. There's the Vortex J24, that's $50. There's the blue C5L, that's $50. There's the LTEC, that's $50. Yeah, so there's 5 phones. And like I love that the first 2 ones are $40. And like priced at $40, this locked phone has a 6.5-inch HD plus screen, 64 gigs of storage, a 50 megapixel camera, and a 5,000 milliamp hour battery for $40. That is wild. That is absolutely insane. And I like $40. Like you can buy 2 pizzas for $40 these days or whatever. I don't know what your pizzas cost in America. $20 is like basically what we like spend on a pizza run, right? So you do 2 pizza runs, and then you can also technically for that same value buy a smartphone that has the ability to connect to the internet, has the ability to, as you know, Joe said, like align you. You can like align yourself with the friggin' the compass, or you can use it as a GPS, know where you are on planet Earth. So bonkers. What a world we live in. And again, this to me brings me hope. Like it's almost one of the only things that brings me hope these days, is that the technology is going to get better and it will get cheaper. And eventually, if you can afford anything, you'll be able to afford those things. Plant identifier, medical advisor, the list goes on. Yeah. Because now, especially with AI, because again, when I say it can connect to the internet, that literally opens an entire infinity to you. And the fact that now AI is on the internet as well, that means that anybody with a $40 smartphone has access to a literal super genius. And that's where we are today. We are living on that planet today. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Goodbye, bitches. Where's my pocket? I want to show people what a baby looks like. Oh, yeah, baby. You see that doggo? You see others? You see them? They're outside, bro. I like pie. It is a very round number. So wrong. Spiral number. How else can they frustrate and moderate frustration of everyone unless everyone has a phone? I don't think it's about that. I think it's about the things that we think are expensive becoming exceedingly cheap because of the because of the bar that we're pushing. Right? We're really pushing that bar of technology and electronics right now. And technology and electronics, when used well, can make your life better, right? And it is going to be a matter of education and a willingness to learn to get better in that way. I'm going to say goodbye on the vertical stream, and then we're going to start up the horizontal one next. I appreciate you, friends. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure having you here. See you, friends, again, like a moment from now.